ते दिन रात्र सपने को बोला तुम आगे गया तो पीछे आओ, ते बातों में पानी है देख।
वो आपने सपने में देखा?
हाँ, सपने में बोला एक आदमी को, आदमी मेरे को
सपने में एक आदमी आपको बोला? हाँ, कि कोई आया उसने ये कहा कि पानी अब आगे मत जाओ,
हाँ
पीछे आओ।
My PhD student Sadir Tripathi and me, Dr. Darren Crook, his supervisor, have travelled from the University of Hertfordshire in England to Kerala in India. We are beginning our quest to improve our knowledge of a little-known irrigation system called Suranga. These are found in the foothills of the Western Ghats further south of here in southern Karnataka and northern Kerala. One of our first visits is to Sri Dam Hindu Temple to meet Swamiji, who is head of this temple. This visit is key to the success of our research, as Swamiji is the religious leader in this area. Without his blessing, it would be difficult to gain access to farmers, because in India, religion and agriculture are closely connected. The local farmers put effort into their work, but at the same time they seek reassurance from this divine leader for successful harvests. Hopefully we will see him soon and learn what's been happening in the valleys where Suranga are found. As such, Swamiji has good contacts with the farmers who use Suranga, so it's a good way to network the whole area by having contact with him.
We have come to a local school where Darren is going to give a guest lecture on Suranga and our research. This is an opportunity for us to exchange information with the local community and to educate the younger generation about the benefits of traditional methods of water harvesting, so the skill and knowledge can be revived.
Suranga are very different because they're so distinct from communally managed water resources. It's important that we try and understand better how people think about water, how they think it should be used, how it should be managed, how it should be shared between people. And of course, as water becomes more scarce, these are the questions that we have to ask ourselves more and more at different scales, at the local scale, the regional scale, the national scale, and the global scale as well. We have been informed by one of our contacts, Sri Padri, who is a freelance water journalist and champion of traditional water harvesting techniques. He's told us about a school that has a long suranga with air shafts in a place called Sheni. We are here to learn about the history of this suranga and to see if it's still in use.
That time the cows want water. So there is a little pond in front of the tunnel. Then the water flows to the other tank. The pond is open always. Cows go there and drink water. These surrounding peoples few houses use as drinking water now also. You have seen the pipe, black pipe in the Suranga. The back pipe goes for as drinking water. They use drinking water 2-3 houses. Nowadays it is not a practical one. Cost of digging the well tunnel is also high. This water is very clean water for drinking and other purposes also.
So you can have this. So you can have this because they have come to us. This please you can have it. He is saying them that they can come tomorrow and take him to the spot where they want to dig a suranga or well. He will decide it. Where to do. Please, sir. Please.
I mean, how they get information about that?
No, in our area he is so famous, so they know it.
Where they come from?
Yeah.
Where they come from?
About 1 or 2 kilometers from here. Very local.
In the village Manila, the first people who dig Suranga was Moplas. Moplas are Muslims belonging to Kumbla area. They had the knowledge, and later on it was picked up by Govindana's family, and it was spread.
અને સરંગ કડ્યાક તુત્યાંદા જીને પુડે પળેન ચિલન કેનો ತೆಂಗಾಟ್ಲ ತಜ ಸಂಗತ ತೊಯಿಲೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಕರು ಕಳ್ಳ ಸೇಮ್
Does that mean that person already know how to?
Yeah, that person already knows how to go for a Suranga.
Has he got any idea where did he come from?
I am a farmer by profession and a journalist by obsession. I am a student of rainwater harvesting, and being a media man, I am instrumental in spreading awareness about rainwater harvesting. So in the process, I had opportunities to study many traditional water harvesting systems of the country. Suranga is one, and Suranga is a very unique structure. India, India has enough water lessons, diverse lessons. India is a diverse country, agroclimatic, soil-wise and all that. But in each agroclimatic zone we have a lesson. In every area, including our Thar desert, we have traditional water harvesting systems. Unfortunately, much written document is not there, and people say it goes to the memory of 2-3 generations. We don't have a clear idea where it comes. But in absence of much hypothesis, it looks as if it has come from some Muslim rulers, maybe from Iran or something like that.
First of all, we plan for an auspicious day to start with the work.
Okay.
He's decided that coming Wednesday will be the best day to start.
Wednesday he will be going there.
No, tomorrow he'll be going there and see the place, where to do and where to not.
Okay. Then Wednesday they will
Wednesday they have to start the work.
Start work. How do you select an auspicious day?
No, he knows it. We say Panchanga, you may have heard of it. We know some list of auspicious days and all that. We decide from looking into that book. We are having a big printed book.
Arrival of a group of people from a different family searching for information about how to locate a new Suranga or a new water source. It may not be Suranga. Was quite inspiring to actually see that in practice, and to see that obviously Govinda's father is valued greatly for his understanding of water and the ways in which you find it within the landscape as much as anything, and the principles of hydrology in many ways. This is science in practice, and I think that's what is important here. It may not be taught science, but it is a clear understanding of principles that are scientifically based.
Yeah, there are people who have some idea of water divining for Suranga. Even over the years, these people who dig Surangas, they themselves develop that knowledge.
He divined so many Surangas and open wells. How divines, I don't know that. But so many people per year, he divines around 100 Surangas like that per year. Yeah.
Once this divining is done, they employ a person, or there are in Bayaru and all, many of the farmers have dug. It's a slow process. It's a one-man work. They work for some time. It is step by step, day by day, like that. But the whole process starts post-monsoon. Monsoon, you can't dig a Suranga. Post-monsoon, you go on digging.
Today we are visiting a couple of retired Suranga workers to know about their experiences of constructing a Suranga and their tips, tricks and tools they use to build these great structures.
ಒಂಜಿ ಸೊರಂಗ ತೆತ್ತೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೊರಂಗ ತಂದು ನೀರಿದ್ದಿ ಹೌದಾನೆ ದರ್ಖಾಸು ಮಾಡ್ಪುನಂಬು ನೀರು ಮುಲ್ಪ ಸಿಕ್ಕು ಜತ್ತ ರಡ್ನೆ ಸೊರಂಗ ಅತ್ತೆ ಐಟ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಿ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆಲ್ಪೇರ್ಸ್ರು ಅಂತಾರೆ ನಾನು ಅತ್ತೆ ಮುಲ್ಪ ನೀರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಂದು ನಾನು ನೀರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರ ಇದ್ದಿ ಮುಲ್ಪ ತಗ್ಗಟಿ ಎತ್ತನೆ అంటే నన్ను దాయితా అనుకున్నా పండుగను ఎత్తారట పోతూ నీరు దెత్తే పెరప్ప పోతూ ಅಂತೆ ದೆತ್ತಣ್ಣ ದನ್ನ ದೇವ್ರ ನೀರು ಒಂಜಿ ಪನ್ನಿಸ ದೇವ್ರ ದಟ್ಟು ತಿಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಒಕ್ಕಡೆ ಇಂದು ಅಂತಾರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಪುನಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಆಗ ನೀರು ಮುಲ್ಪ ಸಿಕ್ಕಂದ ಅಲ್ಪ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ ಉಂಡು ಸಿಕ್ಕಂದು ತಿಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಜ್ಜಸ್ಕೊಡೊಂದು ಅಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ನೀರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಂಡು ಒಂಜಿ 25 ಮೀಟ್ರ್ ಪೋಣ ನೀರು
ಸಿಕ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂಡ ಅಂದಾಜಿಗೆ ಒಂಜಿ 35 ಸೊರಂಗ ಆವು ಹೆಚ್ಚ ತಂದೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆವಂತೆ ಅಂಚನ ಬಂಗ ಎಡ್ಡೆ ಮಸ್ತ್ ಉಂಡು ನಿಗಡೆ ತೂಯರ ಸೊರಂಗೊಂಡು ಅಂಡ ವಾರ ಬರ್ತದಿ ಕಾಂದು ಆತೆ ಉಂಡು
ಗರ್ಪೆರ ಬಂಗ ಉಂಡು
ಗರ್ಪೆರ ಬಂಗ ಉಂಡು ಗರ್ಪೆರ್ಲ ಸುಂಬಿಯರ್ಲ ಮಂತ ಅವಡತ್ತ
ಒರಿಯೇ ಮಲ್ಪೋರ
ಜನ ಒಂಜಿ ದೆತ್ತೊಂದು ಮಣ್ಪೇರ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಬುಕ್ಕ ದಿಂಜ ಬೋಣಾಗ ಜನ ದಿಂಜ ಬೋಡಾಕೊಂಡು ಒಂಜಿ 2 ಜನ 3 ಜನ ಇಂಚ ಬೋಡಾಕೊಂಡು ಆತೆ ಇಂದೊಂಜಿ 200 పోతుండు 200 ఎనపగోడు పోతుంది కై ఉండు అంచించి కై ఉండు సో ఆండ్ల ಒಂಜಿ 200 ಮುಟ್ಟ ಕುತ್ತನೆ పోతున్నా అన్న
పోతున్నా ಅತ ಸೊರಂಗ ಗರ್ತನ ಸೊರಂಗ ಚಟ್ಟಿ ಒಬ್ಬರ ಇಪ್ಪು ಅದ
ಅವಾಂತ ತಿಕ್ಕುಂಡು
in our language we say this is picas and this 2 sides are sharp and both the sides are used for digging. This is we say chemmati and this is used actually to break the hard stones actually inside. Actually it works as hammer and this is used to break the hard granites. This we say hare or kottu in our language and this is used to take the clay fill the clay into the other bucket. We say this is actually used to carry the outcomings. So by this he will be taking on his head. Yeah. And in other parts I have seen they are pulling. I have seen in your video. We are pulling it also.
His name is Kunya. He is 75 years old. Neighboring village Edmakache. He is coming from Edmakache. He started Suranga as assistant. He was 16 years old. No, he's telling only this area. I mean. First he go to assist a Suranga professional digger. He assist first.
Today we're on our way to a place called Pol Solagumpe. It's actually one of the largest hills in the area and it's a pretty famous one at that because we think it's probably one of the places where Suranga were first developed and there's quite a bit of history attached to it. We've got an exciting day ahead of us, particularly in the context of seeing 2 of the more spectacular Suranga. Here we go again. I really don't remember this. You're coming? Yeah.
यहाँ तो रहना बहुत मुश्किल हो सकता था क्योंकि हाँ कुएं में तो ಬಾವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ತೆಗಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಸುರಂಗವೇ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಈ ಫ್ಲೋರಿಂಗ್ ಈ ಜಾಗದ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಡೌನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ನಮಗೆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಬಾವಿ ತೆಗಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಇದು ಡೌನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸುರಂಗವೇ ಮೈನ್ ಸುರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಬರುವಂತಹ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿರುವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಇಂಥ ಸುರಂಗದ ಫ್ಲೋ ಬಂದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ನೀರು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನೀರು ನಾವು ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 100 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಮೇಲಾಯಿತು ಈ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಿನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಬಂದದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಸುರಂಗದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 8 ರಿಂದ 9 10 ಸುರಂಗದ ತೆಗೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸುರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸುರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಸುರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 2 ಸುರಂಗಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಇದೆ, ಆದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಬರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಯಿತು. ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಪೈಪಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ನೀರು ಅದನ್ನು ಸೈಫನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೀರನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ.
Yeah, we're just about to enter this Suranga. This is one of the more tricky ones where you walk a few meters and then you have to drop down on a bamboo ladder. So they're currently trying to set up the ladder. Hopefully we'll see a few bats in there. I think there was a big pile of guano in this one.
What's that?
Guano is bat droppings. So in the past we did consider the idea that we might be able to date these things because it has been done as a technique, but we don't have sufficient colonies, I don't think, to get sufficient dating material.
Yeah, second time. Yeah. See, in the rainy season, the waterfalls and this happen. Waterfalls, drop by drop.
Okay.
So it happens.
Yeah. So it feels claustrophobic in here just by going in for 5-10 minutes. And just think about the people who dig it. It takes nearly 1 month, 2 months, and they just dig on their own, because if they employ 2 people, then the cost of Suranga will go high. It's like the temperature is okay, but it's very humid.
Yeah, it's the
because-
humidity.
Yeah, humidity is very high. Remember, we have got the torch. They do it without torch.
They do it without torch.
Yeah, they just do it in the dark. It's unbelievable.
And so what was that pot for? Yeah, that thing. This is the roots of the trees.
No, the pot.
No, pot is used as just a tank. Water will be filling here. Current will be by siphon. Through pipe it is taken to them outside.
Okay.
The good thing is that they don't need they are not dependent on electricity in the area where power cut is very normal. Every day they get power cut, and depending on diesel or motor pump, they are completely free out of it. It's like, in a sense, it's like nearly carbon free.
ಅದನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ನೀರು ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂಬ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತು ಕರೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು ಅನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಒಳಗೆ ನೀರಿನ ಕಂಡು ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಆಯ್ತು ನಮಗೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆ ನೀರಿನ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ 20-30 ವರ್ಷದವರೆಗೆ ಆ ನೀರಿನ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸೈಫನ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ನಮಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಅದರ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ನಿರಂತರ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಒಂದು ಸುರಂಗದ್ದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸುರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ
Two bits. 2.5 feet. Yeah, 2.5 feet. From here, as we see, it goes into the hill.
Looks like they're quite lost in it. They don't want to come up again. It's nearly 15-20 minutes.
The rainy season water comes to this level.
Okay.
Soil.
Yeah, you can see the silt.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in the rainy season?
Yeah, in rainy season it comes like this.
Yeah.
Plant is very high.
Has he been in during rainy season?
No. Because we will be pulled out.
Yeah.
Water.
There's guano here. That's guano. Bat droppings. It's quite an experience. Literally, you go in for about 10 meters and then you have to drop down a sheer drop into an open cavern. And the only way of accessing that is by a bamboo ladder. You get down into quite a vast cavern, but the cavern is actually getting larger, partly because it's falling to pieces, which makes it rather exciting. And there are multiple water sources down there, coming from all different directions. Basically, I think during the time of the monsoon, it becomes a river, an underground river, and you can see signs of that with depositions of various sediments. But during the summertime, bats enter into there, and there's a great deposit of guano drop down on the floor. So it's really quite fascinating and exhilarating Suranga. Certainly one for the memory.
ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ತರಕಾರಿ ಗಿಡಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೇ ನೀರನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಒಗೆಯೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಈ ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಆಗುವ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಸಮುದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀರು ಬತ್ತಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೋ ಆಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸುರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಗ್ರಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟರ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಿನ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಉಂಟು. ಖಂಡಿತ ಇದರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾಗಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ನೀರಿನ ಅಂಶ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇದೆ.
arrive here and you can see quite clearly that we have evidence of the natural substrate, which is the ground surface here, which is that of laterite. And you see the marked contrast between the dark laterite that is the natural terrain here and the brick structure here, which is actually a laterite formed brick. Now, the beauty of laterite is that actually what it does, once exposed to air, it hardens off. But as we've seen in the context to Suranga, which are almost universally constructed in the context to a laterite substrate, that's easy to cut through. It's structurally quite sound, and therefore you're able to take water in a natural adit system. The rain falls onto the hillside and then seeps through the ground until it hits a hard layer. There the water pools and is stored underground. The farmer then digs a tunnel to tap into this water, allowing the water to flow out under gravity. Its other utility, its great utility throughout this whole area, of course, is that it's used as a building block. And one of the great things about laterite, once you expose it to air, it hardens off, and it's something that can be used over a long period of time in the construction of buildings. Laterites themselves are found throughout the tropical world. They are a form of soil formation that comes about as a result of tropical climatic conditions. They are highly variable, and thus throughout different parts of the world, based on the ratio of iron, aluminium and silica, they will vary according to the different locations, based on the intensity of rainfall, the amount of rainfall, the strength of temperature as well, and the erosional processes that come about as part of that. So we get all sorts of different types of laterites. Nonetheless, as Goa will show, there is the potential for transfer of this technology based on similar types of laterite. So one of our objectives for this project is to some degree is to actually distinguish which parts of the world would have the appropriate lithology in place, where we would find similar types of laterites with similar rocks underneath that will give it the structural properties that were required. Then we need to find all the other properties that relate to the construction of Suranga. But it's a very good starting point, and I think it's probably the blueprint for where you could transfer the technology to. While visiting Durga Parmeshwari Primary School in the Saya hamlet of Enmakaji village in Kasaragod district, we investigated the sole supply of water for the school that is provided by a Suranga. At this location, we are fortunate also to meet and talk to a visiting health inspector for the state to understand his views on the quality of this Suranga water.
अभी lunch का time है? अभी lunch है? नहीं.
Lunch no. One.
तो उसको prepare कर रहे हैं. Yeah, they are preparing for the lunch.
Please have some milk.
No. Darren, do you want some milk?
Okay, I'll have some milk.
Just some.
Just
a little. Yeah.
This area.
In this area.
Yeah.
And also Goa.
Goa some 15 Suranga there are, but yeah, the technology went from here.
This Suranga is from my memory. It is there, like my father or grandfather. When the school started, this Suranga is there. Nearby half kilometer, we have one Suranga, which gives plenty of water for drinking. Covering entire Saya, we are getting nearly 10 to 15 Surangas.
I'm working belongs to the Health Department of Kerala, Government of Kerala, working as Junior Health Inspector grade 2. And we have a given area in this Panchayat. The local body is named as Panchayat, and this Panchayat I have 3 wards, and we have field work. We have to visit the school institution and house to house visit, because they are supplying foods children. So we have to check the quality of the food, quality of the serving, and also the quality of the water.
And over your time of being here, you've never had a problem with the quality of that water?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Suranga water is best compared to any source of water.
Okay. And you're not adding anything to the water?
No, we are not adding. We are directly drinking. No issue.
We tested nitrate, fluoride, chloride, and pH of the water. And in this area, no any dangerous. We cannot find it. But the problem is that bacteriological test is mostly positive because E. coli may be present in most of the water sources we have. And the only remedy is that in our circumstances, only remedy is that to chlorinate the water. But Suranga is not such a case to chlorinate. So we advise them to boiling the water to.
So do you use Suranga water for drinking or any other or like?
No, we use only Suranga water.
Only Suranga water.
Only Suranga water.
Okay, that's
including bath or whatever.
I cannot say it is better because it can be polluted because you know the way the water comes, rat, such a.
Our field mission for today is to test our theory of finding the most suitable location to build a Suranga. We are going to a completely new location, and according to our hypothesis and learning, we should find Suranga in these areas.
Ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, let's go.
We are here. Is it nearly? We came by this way. We are here now. Here.
Bulanjadika now.
Bulanjadika.
This area looks very favorable for Suranga, isn't it?
Yeah, steep enough.
We believe that where the two edges join, definitely there will be water. Water logging is
right. Okay, because you've got a micro catchment, haven't you?
So we're following that slope, is it?
Yeah, following that slope.
Follow that slope.
And the forest seen that shows that water availability is high. Otherwise, such forest one can't be seen. Planted, but otherwise it was thicker than this.
It's thicker.
Than here. Totally, such forest was here.
Okay. So it was a dense forest.
Dense forest, you can say definitely.
How old would you say this rubber plantation is?
Please.
How old?
4 to 5 years.
4 years. Okay. Let's go then.
4 years.
Like a borewell. Let's see.
The storage device.
It's not borewell. It's some irrigation equipment, a drip system.
The drip system.
Look like there may be tank here.
Oh, it looks like there's definitely a tank, isn't there? Which might mean there's Suranga up here.
Yes, with the similar situation. Two Surangas as well.
Hey, excellent.
Yeah, 2 more.
Brilliant.
2 Surangas in a carry.
Yeah, clear water, isn't it?
I think
Suranga, 2 Suranga in the tank.
Yeah.
Third tank, 5 Suranga. 4 Suranga.
4 Surangas and 2 good
tanks.
Very good yielding tanks.
Yeah, that means water availability is very good, what we were expecting earlier. Yeah, it goes well with our theory.
The top pipe you can see here is an overflow.
Yeah.
And then there are 3 pipes. The middle pipe will be drawn off when it's a relatively high amount of water in order to try and preserve water. And then as you draw out into the longer part of the season and it starts getting drier, you draw off the lower level then. So it's a stage by stage drop down in terms of conserving water over a period of time. How long does it take for a rubber tree to start producing rubber? How many years old?
7 to 8 years they need to grow. 7 to 8 years they have to grow. Then only they will start yielding.
Okay.
After planting you have to wait for 7 to 8 years to get returns.
Right, okay. And for how many years will you have returns?
About 20 to 25 years you will be having returns.
Okay, 20 to 25.
Means almost 18 years you will be getting it.
Yeah.
But nowadays the unyielding trees also costly.
Right.
You can get a good amount by selling it also.
Yeah. We just climbed up the big steep slope to end today's activity, in which we were trying to attempt to find out whether our theories about actually where we would find Suranga based on topography, on watershed characteristics, to some degree on aspect as well, but perhaps most importantly the lithology in terms of the laterite. And we came to an area where we weren't sure there'd be Suranga, but based on the premise of what we understood the terrain to be like, we came here expecting to find them, and we were fortunate enough to actually do that pretty quickly, and to some degree it sustains our views that there is definitely some method behind what we're doing. There are obviously hydrological principles that are being followed by the farmers, and these are pretty sound on the basis of locating and digging Suranga systems.
Which will be very helpful to support our findings later on.
I think they provide us with the background to design principles for the system. So in meeting some of the aims of our project, this is actually achieving some of those aims, I think. Today we're spending the day with Dr. Sutaka Isaac, an Associate Professor of Zoology at St John's College in Tamil Nadu. He's a bat specialist and will shed some light on why bats inhabit Suranga, what species they are, and the dangers and benefits to us as humans.
Normally bats are found in semi-dark places,
right,
where we can find high humidity and low temperatures.
Right.
So since Suranga resembles a cave,
yeah,
large number of bats are also found inside Suranga. So what we see inside the Suranga is small insectivorous bats.
Right, okay.
Which are echolocating.
Right.
And they use ultrasonic sound for their navigation.
Right.
And also for feeding.
Yeah. You're in Govinda's nearest Suranga, used for drinking water. I think I'm right. Dr. Isaac now, in this very tightly constrained Suranga, is attempting to catch one of the bat species. They're flying around here, you can probably see them flying into us. Better keep my mouth closed a little bit, because I have had one fly into my mouth.
I captured two.
You got two. How old is this Suranga, Govinda?
Yeah.
How old?
It is old, around 30 years.
30-year-old Suranga. So, and this is quite a healthy population of bats in here.
So these are small insectivorous bats. You can see a small colony of about 15 to 20 bats. Here you see two species of bats belonging to the family Hippocidaridae.
Okay, okay.
Second thing is 27.59. They are commonly leaf-nosed bats.
Right, okay.
We see one species is Hippocidarius puris, and another one is Hippocidarius aeter. They are normally called as a symbiotic species living together in different places inside Suranga. 12.5.
I think you mentioned while we were in one of the Suranga that they may leave some residue of the insects they're eating.
Yes.
Yeah. Could that be potentially problematic for the water quality of the Suranga?
Deposit droppings, the fecal pellets.
Right. Okay.
They contain more nitrogenous waste.
Right. Okay.
And ammonia.
So
they may pollute the water.
Okay.
But it is nutrient for the plants they irrigate.
Okay.
But they are not suitable for drinking purpose.
Where from which Suranga we used the water to the drinking or household purpose, we kept one mesh outside the Suranga. Then bats will not go inside.
So we can see several types of fungus growing on the walls of the Surangas.
Yeah.
Some of the particular fungus are found in the droppings of the bats.
Okay, so it's coming from the droppings and the guano. Is there any potential that the guano and the fungus can contaminate water, the drinking water?
Yeah, they may contaminate the water.
Yeah.
If the droppings they directly fall into the drinking water.
Right.
So this water may be good for irrigation.
Right. Okay.
If you want for drinking purpose, we have to protect the Suranga from the entry of bats.
Right. Okay. In your opinion, do you think the Suranga are a good human-made habitat for bats?
Yes. Because it very much resembles a cave environment.
Right.
Providing semi-darkness.
Yeah.
High humidity.
Yeah.
and low temperature,
Yeah.
and minimum disturbances from animals and human beings.
And in that context as well, do you think that this may be increase in bat population sizes?
So the increase in number of surangas may also enhance the bat population.
Right. Well, that is good news.
They provide a good roosting site for bats.
We are on our way to visit Dr. Aitha, who is a snake expert, to find out more about the commonly found dangerous animals inside a suranga.
Okay, we're here today to come and see the famous snake doctor of Pretoria, Dr. Moot. At the side of his practice here, in which he regularly gets people with snake bites coming to see him, he also keeps a number of snakes. So we're going to have a look at some of the snakes he keeps, such as the king cobra, the cobra, and of course some of these which we potentially at least can see in the field. Hopefully we won't, although we have come across cobra before at the entrances to Suranga. There's also lots of stories about python going into Suranga. So we're going to try and find out if there are any other snakes that we are likely to encounter as we go and visit Suranga, perhaps see what they're doing there.
Baby python, only 2.5 years.
And is this the sort of thing that might go into a Suranga?
Suranga is common.
Yeah, it's common.
You know, all the Suranga is, this one python is common.
Okay.
You know, basically in hot season, January to April, May, in a common, in a Suranga, in a water area.
In water area. So that they come to drink? They come for drink?
Drinking water.
He is very keen on the conservation of snakes. He's known as a specialist in snakes, and all the local farmers, if they have a problem with a poisonous snake, they will contact him to come and capture the snake, and then he will release it in a safer location.
In a root, I can give viper bite. Viper bite.
For vipers.
Viper
right.
bite.
Pit
This
viper?
creeper. This is creeper.
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 Oh right, yeah, yeah.
Pata, Samskrita pata.
So it's like ivy almost. Have you ever treated snake bites of people working in Suranga? Have you ever had people bitten when they were working in Suranga?
Most, I think 99% Suranga, poison snake very rare.
Right.
Non-poison snake, Suranga is more.
Common. Okay.
Only 10% poison snake.
Okay.
Otherwise, all you can see Suranga snakes, all non-poison. Tree snake, some type, tree snake, cat snake, and python, and water snake, rat snake is common.
Okay.
You know, cobra, cat, very rare, very rare. Viper is rare. Viper, very cold area. Viper and cobra not coming. This is very cold area.
What about bats? Bats are dangerous?
Bats
if
no
they bite anybody?
In India, bats no danger.
No rabies.
Very rare bat. Suppose bite, you can catch time bite. Otherwise, thousand of bat is coming in Suranga. You can go, no bite, only round. No bite.
We have come to Dr. Murthy's Varanashi Research Centre for Agriculture. Dr. Murthy is modernising the way people harvest water in this region of India. His wife gives us a tour of their estate, and then Dr. Murthy would take us to one of his check dam structures known as Kata.
It is always at the top.
Yes.
So that it will be distributed down. Yeah. So this is geographically this plot is in such a way that it is in the basin of a small hill around. What Murthy has planned is from the bottommost pond, he pumps to the topmost. Then from there, by gravity, it comes down, and the pumping will be done to the topmost pond till there is a natural flow in the lowermost ponds. Once the natural flow stops, means we stop pumping up. The soil, what they dug from there, the topsoil, again they just they put it here, and we will just take it to our nursery.
So how old is this quarry?
This quarry is 2 years.
Right.
This is very, very recent, and we have stopped it.
Okay.
Do you need to take a license or permit?
We got to. What we do is we don't take the license. We lease out this place to the quarryman. To the quarryman. He does everything for us.
Is there there have been any illegal?
There are a lot many. There are a lot many because the demand is so much.
Yes.
Demand for this laterite stone is so much. And we have it here plenty also. The thing is, it should not. It's not going systematically. But this stones, when it go to a certain depth, then only actually you get good quality stones. And after some depth, again it becomes zero. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
And we also done some innovations in the building the dams.
Right.
We have got a sand dam.
Right.
It's a plastic and sand dam across a river nearby.
Right.
It is 115 feet length and about 12 feet height.
Right.
I can store water up to 9 to 10 feet.
Right.
So
Is it temporary or?
it's a temporary.
Shiria. The purpose of going on this boat was to actually paddle up water to see the Qatar that's been constructed by Dr. Muri. We got a bird's eye view of this temporary dam structure that is there blocking water that is beneficial both to upstream and downstream users. You may think that by blocking the water, the downstream users be unhappy, but what it actually does is, because there's some leakage, it allows water to seep through over a regulated period of time, so they have a much more consistent supply of water, and that will take them up into the dry period. So it's a new technique. It's using recycled plastic with sandbags and with sand. It's a temporary dam structure with a spillway. They have to be concerned about Qatar further up the river, because there'll be a series of Qatar up the river in stages, and thus there could always be a break in one of them, would lead to a flood down in this level. But as it stands now, it's a very good use of an appropriate technology, and a technology that's been adapted from a traditional technology. It's another day, another surprise. Today, out of courtesy as much as anything, we've decided to come along to our driver's cousin's wedding. So we're doing his cousin's wedding, just to show some respect to their family, because Uday's been such a fantastic driver for us on this trip. And it's also a lovely way to engage more with the culture and get a broader understanding of the way in which people live and the importance of religion and ritual to the everyday life, which of course is part of the whole story to do with Suranga and the integration of all things in a holistic sense and in a broader sense of how people live and their livelihoods in this area. We're on our way now to see a rather unusual Suranga. It's one that's actually built into the side of a hill effectively, so it's not at ground level, it's some way up, so you have to access it via a ladder. That makes it quite unique in that sense. This is the only example we have of this type of Suranga thus far, not to say that we might not find others like it. So it's going to be an exciting one to film, and also an exciting one to go and have a look at.
Do you use Suranga water? No, this is the well water.
No, this is Suranga water.
Oh, you are using Suranga water.
But this is boiled and we are cooled.
Yes, yes.
My wife.
Oh.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. What about vanilla? Vanilla is not there anymore. It's finished.
Completely gone.
Did you have vanilla?
No.
Okay.
We didn't do it at all.
Okay.
I reckon it is the main cash crop. But now there's a big question mark over Areca ban also.
Yes.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah. recently
Yeah.
the health minister has said they are not going to ban it immediately.
They're not going to ban it, but
It will
the
affect the
future
price.
the future looks very bleak actually.
So have you thought about any replacement in future? How-
Rubber we have planted actually.
Okay. Have you got any plan that slowly you are moving from Areca?
We have to. But the main problem is slowly people are going away from Areca because there are a lot of problems with the workers. We are not getting workers anymore. Slowly people are moving away to cities. So naturally this Areca cultivation will definitely go down after 10-15 years.
So is there any promotional scheme for rubber or Areca nut or coconut by government or like to promote?
Rubber we have.
You have?
Yeah. Rubber actually Kerala there is not much incentives, but in Karnataka we have a lot of incentives from the government for plantation, and we get a lot of subsidy for first 6-7 years till we get the crop. We get subsidies from the government.
Okay. Do we get something similar for others like
No.
Areca nut? No.
Areca no.
Okay. Yeah, it has changed quite a lot.
Yeah.
We've got a fairly old tank here. Can you say how old this tank is, roughly speaking?
Maybe easily about 80 years old. 80.
About 80 years old.
Yeah.
And there's clearly modernisation going on here,
Yeah.
expansion. Roughly how old is that?
The new dam is about 2 months old, just 2 months.
Just two months, right. And in terms of your capacity, how much more water do you have?
It's almost, in liters wise, I can't gauge it correctly, but it's almost more than double, I think.
Right,
More than double.
Okay.
What used to store before, we are having almost double now.
Okay.
And we are planning some more expansion next year because this year in November and December we had a lot of water going out actually.
Right, okay.
So
Seepage, you mean?
not
Yeah.
seepage.
No.
Overage.
Overspill.
Overspill.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if we can store, if we can have some more space,
This, yeah.
we
Build
can
it
store
higher.
some
Yeah.
extra water for next year.
Yeah.
So that's the
Okay.
plan.
Okay, that's good. And this is mainly fed by a stream, is it? Is this a stream?
No, it's a spring there, up
A
there.
spring.
Up
Okay.
there.
Okay.
So it comes down.
Okay, so this is spring water.
Yeah.
And the Suranga we're going into now, it's purely for drinking water, is that right?
Purely for drinking.
Okay, and how old roughly is this Suranga?
This is the last Suranga we got it done. It's about 20 years old.
20 years old?
Yeah, because we have other old ones where we don't have the water source now.
Okay, and can you explain a little bit why the Suranga is built halfway up the slope effectively?
That's also one of the reasons, because the tank was down there.
Right.
So we wanted the Suranga to be from a height.
Ah, I see.
That is
I
one
see.
of the reasons, so that
Okay.
the water flows down.
Okay, so there's another tank. Yep,
Then maybe the water source was there down, up.
Up higher.
Yeah, higher.
Yeah. We were just casting our minds back, Sudhir and I, as to last time we came to this Suranga, and we're suddenly realising that there is a division in the Suranga which they refer to as a hand or kai in local language, and that itself has been extended from the time we were last here, and then subsequent from that extension they've actually built a new Suranga which is literally to the lower right of this Suranga, which is to supplement the drinking water. And that's given a very good source apparently. Now in times to come, in the next few years, the elder father of this property is now thinking of building a third Suranga just so they can become more self-sustainable in terms of their irrigation. So the third Suranga would be for irrigation, the first two primarily for drinking water.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Today is our final day out in the field in this part of India, and fittingly we're at Govindabhat's farm for this final day, and one of the main objectives of the day is actually to try and collect some water samples of drinking water from Suranga drinking water from a well system, drinking water from a bore well, and we're also going to test the tank water. And we're looking to see the degrees of potability in these different sources for a comparable test as such. We'll be looking at the different Surangas that Govinda has in context to this quite complicated farm system and rather unique farm system, in the sense that Govinda Bhatt is one of these farmers that solely relies on Suranga for his water. He doesn't have any other sources. So it's quite a unique farm in that sense as well. So it's a fitting finale for this part of the trip.
This is a filter. We can't give drip water instead of filter. It stores silt in filter. Yeah, we can clean once a week.
You clean that once a week?
Yeah, filter. Yeah, this is the silt. Yeah. I have to wash once a week like this.
How did you learn about all of this?
It is first the source.
Right.
The dealer.
Right.
Who are selling this system.
Yeah.
The first one they show.
Okay.
Yeah,
They train
that
you.
is enough to me.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
This tank is 6 feet depth. But it is this pipe, another 2 Suranga water comes.
Okay.
And there is a pipe. In that pipe, 4 Suranga water comes. Yeah, and another small pipe you see there. In this, there is a 1 Suranga water comes.
Okay, so there's 8 Suranga.
Yeah.
Feeding this tank.
Yeah. But a link to upper tank to this tank. See, this is the link.
Okay.
If that tank overflows, then we take this tank.
The Suranga here about 30 years old.
It is 2 Suranga is around 30 years and 1 Suranga this is around 40 years.
Okay.
These are the 30 years back we did. Yeah. But it is one is collapsed, and in 1 Suranga we get granite, like a very hard stone, so we can't to make it is big.
Right. So these are not particularly long Suranga.
No, there is only short Suranga. One is only 3 meters and one other 10 meters, and it is around 8 meters. This is around 10 meters.
A real shift in how much increased yield you can get using things like drip irrigation.
We have.
Is it 50% greater? Or what sort of scale are we looking at?
We get more arecanut and more coconuts. After the sufficient water we get.
Right.
Yeah. In olden days there is no sufficient water, so our crop is less. Right. New generation is going to cities. My brother is only one brother I have. He is practicing a lawyer in High Court.
Oh, right. Okay.
My elder son is in MNC company. There is Colt Telecom. It is a US company. Recently, my younger daughter get a job in Corporation Bank. The small son is working in Karnataka Bank in Davangere district.
Do you think any of your sons or your daughters will at some point come back to the farm?
I don't know, but nowadays the children are not eager to go the agriculture because there is risky. We have to pay them per year 50 to 100 rupees to the water tax.
Really?
They are not providing us water.
And you still have to pay it?
Yeah, but to the panchayat. What I say, this type of rule.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is very crazy. This is the filter, same type.
Okay, same time.
The water comes from that tank. It's a little time to fill the pipe water. When we put manure to the plants, we spray like this. See, same pipeline.
Same pipeline, yeah.
Pipeline is same.
Yeah.
now it goes by drip.
Okay.
We have put 2 drippers to one plant. Then per 1 hour, 16 liter water goes to the one plant.
Yeah.
One plant. Yeah. We put 2 hours, 1 day per day. See, in December first week the moisture will dry. Then the plants want water from December. And in June, first week or second week, the rain will come. I show to another system. If there is more water, store, we store more water, then we go to sprinkler.
Right. Yeah.
Sprinkler means it wet whole area. This water also comes from that side. Once a month. If there is more storage of water, then we utilize it. Now, there dripper works now, but here the sprinkler works. Other part the dripper works. Same time.
Same time.
Yeah. Same time. Clean air.
Yeah.
Or and another is clean water, sufficient water. It is God gift to us.
Yeah.
After leaving Kerala, we are on a train heading to Goa with a pit stop in Mangalore.
All samples were given, and with the difference for microbiology and chemical parameters. We had coded the samples as A, B, C, and D. And A, B, C, D were the samples, and these are the microbiology tests for total coliform count and the fecal coliform. And the chemical parameters we had done was pH, ion, conductivity, total alkalinity, turbidity, fluorides, and for aluminium. So these were all the tests, and these are the respective results of each of the samples. Bacteriologically, out of I would say the last samples that were given 4, bacteriological reports say that 3 samples are quite okay. Microbiologically fit for drinking purposes, human consumption.
The test results we have just received from Mangalore Biotech Laboratory have reaffirmed our results from the previous studies of the potability of Suranga water. Compared to other sources of drinking water, Suranga are clearly a safe source of drinking water, even without any pre-treatment. Okay, next stop, Goa. Probably our last day. We're here in Goa, just on the outskirts of Ponda, in a village called Priol. The grandmother of the house here is actually from a village near Bayer, which is in Dakshin, Canada, and she married a local Goan person. We earlier on our tour visited the Suranga builder who helped to construct the Suranga here, and so in a way we're closing the story by coming to visit these locations, because this is a slightly different area to what we were experiencing further south. And to a large extent water is less of an issue, water scarcity is less of an issue here, but again it's geographically specific in that sense. Perhaps it gives us a blueprint for how the technology can be transferred to other areas where we find the suitable type of laterite, the suitable climatic conditions, and also suitable topography and lithology. And perhaps then we may also have locations where we can transfer the technology to.
अभी मिट्टी पड़ा है
पाइप कहाँ से इसके अंदर से आया?
नीचे से।
नीचे से
2 मीटर नीचे है। तभी अभी किया ना, अभी मिट्टी निकालना प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगा। और निकल
और ज़्यादा
अभी जो ठीक है, अभी वो कैसे मिट्टी जब गिरते हैं ना तो फिर उसको
गिरना
पकड़ लेते हैं ना, वो पकड़ लिए तो अच्छा है, वो अच्छा है।
अब ये निकाला और गिरेगा बाद में
फिर और
सब
गिरेगा,
ब्लॉक हो
तो
सकता
सारा
सेम
हो
गया
गया।
बताओ
हाँ।
ऐसे 25 meter we have dug it first. That's wrong. 25 dug it. Then no water. Then my father prayed to God. This much I have done very hard work. So no water. Give me water. So on that night, somebody come in his sonic after dream. Somebody told, come back to 5 meter. So either is a surang. Come back 5 meter, dig and go in this side. Somebody told him. So he come back here, he dig 1 meter down, he go inside and he got here water. So,
हाँ तो सबको प्रॉब्लम है। तो यहाँ पानी आपके इकट्ठा हो रहा है आके, यहाँ से
इधर से
पीने का
pumping करके
पंप
ना
करते हैं। हाँ यहाँ से पंप अंदर का, और ये पानी ये पानी जानवरों के लिए ओवरफ्लो या नीचे खेती के लिए उसके लिए।
ये सुरंग से पानी आया है पाइप से, वो पीने के लिए हम इस्तेमाल करेंगे और ये ऊपर से आया है पाइपिंग से।
तो आपकी एक सुरंग से पानी आ रहा है इसमें।
हाँ।
एक ही दूसरी तो काम नहीं करती ना, एक काम कर वो दोनों।
We've come to the end here in many ways. Rather fitting that it ends by exiting a Suranga here in Goa, which sits close to this natural spring that's being conveyed in an artificial channel around this area. It shows the relationship between different sources of water here. We have what seems to be a copious supply of water down to my left here, and yet we have a smaller quantity of water coming out of the Suranga. But this highlights the importance of Suranga, because Suranga here, just like as we saw in Karnataka and Kerala, are valued primarily for their drinking water. The quality of that water is unparalleled in this region. And you may have more water to use for irrigation, such as we have here, but that's the key value of Suranga. And I think it's an important message to take. We're seeing transfer of technology into a new area based upon prior understanding by the local people of Baya and Polsolagumpe, and they actually transferred their ideas, knowing that the laterite soils here are a similar type to what they have in Karnataka and Kerala. They have similar structural qualities. They're able to carve out these tunnel systems in the same way as they do in that kind of location. And so it shows that there is the least a potential for further transfer of this technology. It shows that there is value in this. There's a humanitarian value in this, simply because the quality of the water is so good. And we hope to show that with further evidence when we get our test results back from places like Mangalore laboratory, and we understand even more so the scientific evidence and the scientific proof for this. And we're fairly confident, based on our early results, that the testimony to that will come true when we see those results as well. So it's a good time to say goodbye as we head off back to the UK, to less sunny climate, and hopefully with much better understanding, greater knowledge, and a little bit more wisdom taken from the local people found in this area, who have been an absolute inspiration to us as we've travelled through and learnt their stories, their narratives, because it's their tales of their everyday lives and of their livelihoods, and that is the beauty of Suranga.